Everyone, welcome back. So, little story time video on the cat. So, I'm gonna put pictures in, a couple videos. Obviously, if you are a little squeamish on cat mucus, blood, dodgy, bloody sort of mucusy neck, maybe skip the video. But anyway, so Sunday 27th of August, I am looking after a cat. I have been looking after said cat, I believe, since the Friday. So go in of a morning and afternoon, feed her, give her a medicine, bish bash bosh done. She's an older girl, 17. She was allowed to roam, is not allowed to roam anymore, but was allowed to roam. So I'm on my own. Mum is away for my dad's birthday at that point. So they had left on the Friday. Actually, they left on the Friday. Left on the Friday morning, so I was on my own from Friday onwards. So obviously I'm cycling, pet sitting, all of that jazz. So from the pet sitters where I was, I cycled down to the cat of Sunday morning. I get in and I'm greeted to no cat. I'm like, where the hell's the cat? Obviously I've wandered in the garden. We always come in the garden. So I've wandered in the garden, obviously, and I've stuck my head round the gate because normally she's out, you know. She knows when it's brekkie. I mean, she's out, she's waiting. She's like, bring me my food, servant. So I've opened the gate. I've flung my head round. I'm like, no, okay, no cat, fine. Plonked my bike up, shut the gate. I've gone wandering along the path, and they've got to the side is the garage, like side door, and then a almost like shed, but is actually like a functioning workroom, study, whatever, to which is where she is. And obviously okay, she's not on the decking. I'm thinking, okay, she's probably down the side of the house. So that's the next port of call. So I have to go down there, obviously, to be able to get the keys to the office. That's why I should have called it the office. An office. It's a garden office. So obviously I start to wander towards the side of the house and I stick my... She's not at the back door. I'm like, okay, where the fuck's the cat? So obviously I grab the keys. I'm like, there's no point. Maybe she's already inside. And I didn't see her. I grab the keys, go up to the office, and I'm like, I can't see her in here. Obviously at this point I've not unlocked the office. I'm just like peering through and I'm like, where the fuck is the cat? And she's 17 years old. Where is this goddamn cat? She's not got a collar. She's not got a tracker. They don't stay on her. She's too skinny. She's tiny. She's like 3.5 kilos. She can't put a fucking collar on that. So I'm like, mate, if she's stuck in a fence somewhere, 1, she needs her medication. 2, I'm never gonna fucking find her. She's got no fucking collar. She could get anywhere. Okay, she can't jump up things. She's old. She can't make it. But she can still walk for a god awful long fucking time. She chews. I'm like, I don't know where the hell the cat goes. She only goes out at night. So obviously I'm like, where's the cat? Where's the cat? You know, I unlock the office. I've opened the door. And normally at that point, you know, if I can't see her, she hears the door. She's like, oh, somebody's here to give me food. Nothing. And I'm like, where is the cat? She's in the smallest corner, facing his cupboards, just like against the wall, just like facing the cupboards, just like almost trying to make herself as small as possible, not chilling in either one of her beds. No, against the wall, just like, I'm gonna make myself as small as possible. And obviously, so I've gone and I've called her name, and she's like, oh, somebody's here, somebody's finally here. Oh, is it morning already? I'm like, all right, Lewis, like, is he ready to give her a brekkie? I've walked in and I'm like, I'm starting to sort her bits out. It's like, what is this pile of? What I initially assumed was puke, and I thought, oh, you've eaten your food, which I should have realistically cleared out the day old. Is it chicken? Is it fish? But either way, the packet of cat food that she hadn't eaten, I should have tossed out. But I thought, well, in case she gets really, really, really hungry, because sometimes she does, I thought I'd leave it. And I thought, what's the bane? She didn't eat it last night. She scoffed it this morning. And I'm thinking that's why there's the bit of red in it, because obviously, you know, you always get that bit of chicken, don't you, that's got that little bit of red on it that you just like, you know, most of us would go, I'm not going to eat that part. And I'm like, she's fucking eating that. Started to digest it, and that's why it's come out all like it has. So I thought nothing necessarily of it. I'm thinking she's probably eaten too much and has puked. And I'm like, fine. So obviously I start going about and I'm like, I'll give her a brekkie. And then I'm like, no, I'll clean up the bowls. It'd be much nicer. So obviously then I'm starting to get her bowls. At this point, she's now like, oh, you're gonna do my brekkie, lovely. And I've knelt down to say hi, and then I've just clocked that it's across her throat. At that point I'm thinking, like initially, like it's just kind of on the chest. I'm thinking, you've puked across your chest, it's like lovely. And then she's looked up and it's under her chin, and I'm like, there is no way. She's a special cat. She's a special cat. I'm like, there is no way you'd get puke like that unless you've looked up to the sky and gone there. So now I'm like, what have you done? So now it's like, okay, cool. Take pictures. So she's also now trying to eat said fucking pukey mucus. I don't know what. I initially went with puke. Now I'm pretty sure it's some sort of weird ass mucus that is dripping out of an injury, to which obviously I don't necessarily know. So I'm like, please, can we stop trying to eat this? So obviously I've shoved the bowls outside because it's across the bowls, it's across the floor, it's a big pile, it's on the food, it's everywhere. I don't know how long she's been dripping this out of her neck, but it's out of her neck. So obviously I start to clean up all of the stuff that's on the floor and across like the water bowls and whatnot, and I bring everything in that she's gonna drink and eat from, and like I'll give all of that a rinse out, and at the same time I send the photos to the owners. I'm just like, let's ruin their anniversary way and just send all these photos. And obviously, so I've sent them the photos. I'm like, morning guys, I don't know what she's been up to, what she's been into, any of it. This is what I've walked in on. What do you want me to do? So obviously while I'm waiting on the reply, clear up everything, obviously chuck all the food away and whatnot, make sure it's all nice. I've filled up her jug with a bit of warm water, grabbed a whole load of just like kitchen roll, and obviously I'm trotting my way back out. And I thought, well, I'll give her her food with her medication, because obviously she's gonna fucking need it no matter what. And I thought I can use that time while she's eating her brekkie to try and clear her up a bit. And obviously got a message back, and they're like, can you just clear her up and see like if it's like an injury, or if like she's just maybe has puked or something. And I'm like, yeah, no worries. So obviously she's eating, I'm clearing up her neck, and obviously she's not a great fan of it, but obviously she's more than happy to eat her food while I'm trying to wipe her neck up. So I wipe her chest initially, because I'm not sure how serious any of this is. I don't know if she has cut herself, whether she has just puked up chicken and somehow maybe she's fucking rolled in the puke or something. God only knows with this damn cat. God, she's one of a kind. The only reason she's alive like she is because she is one of a kind. So I've cleaned the chest. I'm like, okay. I'm like, right. She's like, miss, I'm just gonna like, just dab at her neck. Cause I'm like, if it is cut, I don't want to just be like ripping it open. I'm just dabbing away. And I'm like, that's not great. And as I've dabbed for the last time, I've just watched almost like red slime just run down her neck. And at that point, it's like, you're going to the vet. I have no car. I can't drive. It's the emergency vet of a Sunday before a bank holiday Monday. You're going to the vet. So at this point, I leave her to eat her food. I take the couple of kitchen roll towels, whatever, that I have used, and the rest of the clean and the warm water back into the house. So I put the used in the bin, and I empty out, because it's the same jug that I need to fill up for her cold water that is out there, or her fresh water. I put the other mass amount of freaking kitchen roll that I had grabbed back on the side, and I'm like, well, unfortunately I've pulled off a whole lot of these, but it's fine. And at that point I'm like, my messaging going through to the guys. I'm like, Thankfully, my friend and dog walker was already messaging me. Fuck. And I'm just like, hey, what are you up to right now? I'm just now walking my own dog. I'm like, hypothetically, if I had to get a cat to the vet, the emergency vet today, would you be able to drive me? And she's like, yes. When would you need me? I'm like, hypothetically right fucking now. She's like, I'll take my boy home and I'll be on my way. I'm like, thank the goddamn Lord, you are my saviour. Jesus Christ, I love you, girlie. I'm like, okay, right. Now I'm still panicking because it's like, the owners haven't really, I'm like, have they seen it? Do they know? So in the end, it's like, I go outside, I'm like, no, there's no signal outside. I've got no signal outside. I've got no signal inside. I've got Wi-Fi. I've managed to connect to their Wi-Fi. That's how I'm sending them messages through WhatsApp, but I have no signal. So then I'm like, screw it. Let's enable Wi-Fi calling. Let's call them via the Wi-Fi. So I'm like, hey, no, she needs the vet. Do you want me to take her? Are you guys going to get back like in time to take her? I'm like, realistically, she needs the vet. She needs to go to the vet. Let's go to the vet. Let's come out to the vet. And obviously, so they're like, yes, please, can you get her to the vet? And then they're like, but you're on your own. I'm like, don't worry. Another dog walker has said that she's a dog walker friend. She's going to get. We're going to the vet. It's fine. And they're like, oh my god, are you sure? I'm like, yes. It's already sorted. She's going to be here in like 10-15 minutes max. We're good. So they're like, okay. I'm like, right, where's the cat carrier? What do I need to know? All of this jazz. And they're like, right, cat carrier's in the garage, keys for the garage here, do this, do that. You're good. Obviously then they're like, we'll send over everything the vet's going to need to know, i.e. medication, what she's on, the injections she gets like monthly, whatever, the works. So like, I'll just send all of that in a message, just like, excellent, because I can just show the vet the message and that way they'll know. Obviously I know the dosage of the thyroid stuff she's on, because also I'm giving it to her twice daily, so that's not an issue. The name of the thyroid stuff, God only knows. Thankfully, the owners know it off by heart, along with the injection she gets, so that's fine. So I'm like, I put the phone down, obviously it's like, fine, right, cool, right, go in the garage, grab that. I forget, I've been told this before, she sees that cat carrier, she's out of there. So obviously I'm like busy doing everything. Obviously I've left the office door open. I'm like, I'm milling around. I'm like, yeah, right, I saw that out. Great, that's cool. Right, go into the garage. She's literally seen me go into the garage. Not even like anything else. She knows. I've gone into the garage. That chick doesn't go in the garage. She doesn't need to go in the garage. There is no need. She's seen me go in the garage. That's it. She's gone. I've got the cat carrier out. I've put everything back. I've locked the garage up. I've looked back in the office. I'm like, where's the cat? At this point, I'm like, she's injured, she needs to go to the vet, and I've lost her. So now I'm like, shit. I'm like, has she legged it out of the gate? Because there's a cat flapping the gate, so she can't go over the fence anymore, she can't go over the gate, she can't go over the brick wall, and she can't go over. So I'm like, has she snuck? So now I'm looking up and down the street. I'm looking up and down the road. I'm like, if this cat has legged it, I've got somebody else coming to take us to the vet, and the cat's legged it. No, I can't necessarily. She's not a runner. She can like maybe tricky trot, but that's her limit. I'm like, so she can't have got far if she has legged it out. So I'm like, I don't think she's come outside. So I'm like, fine. Gone back in. I'm like, maybe she's run into the house. Maybe she's being sneaky and she's run into the house. Because again, obviously I've left the back door open because I'm like, I'm going between everything. So now I'm looking around the house. I'm like, no, she's not in there. She's not in there. And I'm thinking she's probably not gone upstairs. She's not really in the house all that often. So I can't imagine her going up the stairs. So then I'm like, is she hiding anywhere in the office? No, she's down the side of the office behind the air conditioner unit. Because she knows both the owners can't fit down there. Unfortunately for her, I can fit down there. So obviously I've now shimmied myself down this. Literally, it's probably this much of a gap. So I'm side shimmying myself down here. Then this much of a gap between the air conditioner unit and the fence. I've then had to squeeze a leg through, shimmy with my feet like this between the. To which she's now looking at me like, oh shit, she fits. Picked her up, shimmied my way back. She's now using her back claws to drag along the fence as if to say, please don't put me in the cat carrier and take me to the vet. I'm like, you are bleeding from your neck. You are going. I'm like, if you're bleeding from anywhere else, fine. You're probably all right until your owner's got home. The neck, no. So obviously now she's in the cat carrier. I've managed to get her, put her in the cat carrier. Again, with both the back legs, I'm not going in this cat carrier. I'm like, you are going in this goddamn cat carrier, I swear to God, get in. I'm not being the reason you fucking die. Get in the cat carrier. No, I'm not saying much. It's not like coming out, you know, like in fucking films. No, it's not even really like bleeding, but I'm like, it's pussy, it's mucusy, it's all things it should not be. I'm like, no. I mean, the texture, that was mucus, that was pus, ooze, something that's not coming from here. You know, just all signs that are telling me it's not clean, and I'm not gonna leave it to get infected. Let alone the fact that as I'm trying to clean it, it's still oozing and trying to. I'm like, no. I'm not playing that game. So anyway, I get her sorted out. I'm like, right, lock up the house, lock up the office, do everything like that. And I'm like, right, cool, yeah, we got that, excellent. Right, we've got the cat. The cat's not disappeared. Lovely, we love that. Go and wait outside because obviously it's a housing estate. It's one of the newer builds. I say it's one of the newer builds, it's like 15 years old, but it's still one of those that not necessarily that easy to find on a Google Maps. So it's like, obviously I've given my friend the address and I'm like, it's here, but obviously she's never been. And do you think I can find a postcode for that place anywhere? And she's like, what's the postcode? I'm like, I have no fucking clue. I'm like, I just know where the house is. So I turn up. I'm like, don't ask me for a postcode, I don't know a postcode. So anyway, she inevitably finds it. I put the cat in the back seat. We find the address for the emergency vets and on the way we go. Obviously the whole time we're gibbering away and we're chatting and whatnot, and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is what we're doing on a Sunday morning. I'm like, thank you so much. We were already meant to meet up anyway. We meet up again later on in the day, but I'm like, well, you know, we meet up a bit earlier as well, you know. We're fine. It's fine, it's fine. So anyway, we get to the emergency vet. It's all locked up. There's nobody in the front car park. And I'm like, are we at the right place? Are we not? Obviously we're there, we're knocking on the door, we're banging on the door, we're trying to pull the door, we're pushing the little buzzy intercom thingy, nothing. I'm like, well, okay. The lady on the phone, you know, because inevitably I call them you know, while I'm waiting for my friend, I'm like, I should probably really call and like sort out an appointment. I'm like, I hate phone calls, normally because I can't necessarily hear what everyone's saying. I don't mind making them, I don't mind doing them. It's just sometimes, you know, I'm a little hard of hearing and people like maybe don't speak quite loud enough and you're like, what the fuck did they just say? Yeah, and then you have to sit there for like, and you're like, I mean, did they say, what did I have for dinner? Or was that, what's your and you're like trying to work out the context in which they've said it so you don't have to go, can you say that one again? What was that? What? Huh? What? One more time? Yeah? No? Still didn't catch that again, please. Like, just yell it down the phone, please. And no, still didn't catch that. You know, I can't. So I try to avoid phone calls, but I'm like, I can't just rock up with this fucking cat, especially if they're not expecting me to be like, hey. So in the end, I'm like, yo, can I bring the cat in? It's just kind of like bleeding from the neck. It looks a bit pussy oozy, and I'm really not sure about it. I think that like she needs to be checked out. Like, yeah, of course you can. Like, what's all the information? And obviously I'm giving one of the owners' information because saying it's not my fucking cat. I'm not. There's no point giving my fucking information. They'll be like, yeah, we have no record. Like, no vet anywhere has a record. Like, yeah, because it's not mine. So obviously I'm giving that, and then they're like, yeah, what's the address? And I'm like, well, it's this. And the postcode, I'm like, I don't know the postcode. So what do you mean you don't know your postcode? I'm like, it's not mine. I'm like, the cat's not mine. And she's like, oh, well, whose information have you been given? I'm like, the owner's information. I'm like, it's not my cat. I said that at the beginning, it's not my cat. I'm just looking after the cat. I've come in of a morning to give her a freaking brekkie, and this is how I found her. I'm like, the owner's not about to bring her to you, but like, I thought I probably should like make sure you guys are ready to take her. So inevitably we get through that, and so she's like, yeah, like come in for 10. And I'm like, okay, cool. So obviously get with her a little bit before. And I'm like, well, they did say like get it for 10. I'm like, so maybe they'll send somebody around to open the door at 10. So obviously, you know, we're just milling out the front, like having a little nose round, you know, making some jokes, you know, trying to make like the situation, you know, like you're at fucking emergency vets of a Sunday, like not even 10 o'clock on a Sunday, and we're stood outside in emergency goddamn vets. Like this is what I wanted to do when tomorrow's bank holiday. So obviously it reaches 10, gone 10, and I'm like, still no big. I'm like, do we try around the back? Like, do we go, it's like everybody around the back? Should we have parked around the back? Like, in the end, no. I've got to call them up again. I'm like, yo, I think I'm outside. I think I'm in the right place. We've got an appointment for 10 with a cat. And they're like, oh yeah, no, we'll send somebody around the front to let you in. I'm like, oh, okay, great, thank you, like, brill. So again, I'm like, it's like just gone 10 of a Sunday, and I'm like, I've had to make 2 phone calls. Fucking cat, great. They send somebody around, they're like, yeah, we'll be with you shortly. We're just kind of a bit like overrun with a couple of dogs that are just like really not doing well. And I was like, no, seriously, like, don't worry, she's not bleeding out or anything, so you're good. And they're like, oh, okay. It's like, yeah, please do your thing. We'll just sit and chill. So obviously now we're milling around inside the vets, you know, checking out the food, all of this sort of jazz, and you're like, okay, right, we're at the vets, that's great. And obviously the vet comes out, she's like, yeah, so the cat, I'm like, yep, like, so obviously both of us have gone in, and she's like, so what's gone on? And I'm like, I've come in ready to give her a brekkie and her medicine, and like, there's just this pile of I'm not sure what on the floor. And I'm like, I've got pictures though, because I know you guys love a picture. So obviously I've now shown her the pictures that you guys will have already seen, because I will have already slotted them in here. And obviously I've shown her the mucusy pukey sort of what I thought was puke. And I said to her, I was like, I initially thought it was puke, and then obviously like she's looked up at me like, give me my food. And I'm like, it's not puke. It's not puke. And I was like, well, so yeah. And then I messaged the owners, and they were like, well, if you clear, I'm like, yeah, of course, I'll attempt to obviously clear up the mess to make sure it's, whether it is puke or whether it is an injury. And I'm like, at that point, you know, I've started to clear it up, and I've just had that little dribble of, again, mucusy bloody. And I'm like, if it was dribbling like blood, you know, like running quickly like fresh blood would, I wouldn't be too worried. But again, at the same time, it was just that sort of dull red dripping like slowly down, and I was just like, something just doesn't seem right. And like, she's a 17-year-old cat, I'm not risking it. I was like, I don't care. It's not my money I'm spending, it's theirs. Let's take her to the vets. I'm like, they're okay with it, they're happy to spend the money, we're going to the vet. This game over, done. I was like, so obviously, here we are. And I'm like, here's the message, that says the medication she's on, yep. And she's like, oh yeah, of course. I was like, yeah, just because, you know, they thought in case, yep, cool, yep. She's like, right, we're gonna take her back, shave her neck down, see what's going on. And obviously like syringe it all clean and whatnot. I was like, yeah, okay, no, like, do what you got to do at the end of the fucking day, like, fix that, make sure she's okay. I was like, you know, I'd rather just be overcautious and like, it'd be nothing than just be like, she'll be fine. And again, I said to like the owners, I was like, if she was a younger cat, I probably would have been like, I'll clear it all up, like, and we'll just see how she goes. But because like, she's a 17-year-old cat, I'm not risking it. No. So obviously she took it back. So now obviously we're sat there, and you're sat in this office, and obviously it's dead freaking quiet. Everybody else seems to be out back. And the next thing you know is some guy has turned up with his dog. And obviously we're like, do we open the door? So he's now doing everything we did. Dong, dong, dong. Press the intercom a couple times. Nobody responds. Donk, donk, donk. Look through. Hello. You're like, it's fucking dead. Obviously we're just sat in the waiting room cat area. So you can't necessarily see us. And we're like, do we let him in? Do we not? Like, obviously because like it's a, like they've locked the door properly, so you can't just like stroll in, and you're like, am I allowed to? You know, inevitably he figured out, yeah, call the number, and they come around, and then you're like, it's like, yeah, so obviously we're sat there, and like, all right, mate. And you're like, I don't know if I was allowed to let you in or not. Then next thing you know, a couple more ladies turn up, bawling their eyes out, quite hysterical, and again, obviously, like, now there's 3 of us sat in there, like, I don't know, do we open the door? Do we leave them out there? And obviously they're proper like, banging, pressing, and like, hello, and obviously like, poor mate, he's sat around in the dog, which means they can fucking see him clearly. Obviously we're like, so he can't see us, but both of us are like, I don't know, do we let them in? Like, what the fuck's going on? How does it work? In the end, he's let them in because he's just got sick and tired. Obviously, they can see it, and obviously they're probably gesturing at him like, "Oh, why the fuck aren't you letting us in?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know. They didn't let me in." So obviously, it's all like, I don't want to piss off the vet people. They can make the bill quite expensive if they wanted to. So inevitably, she comes back out, you know, with the cat in the carrier, and she's like, so. This, that, that's no, and you're like, 1, in English, please. Didn't necessarily catch half of that. 2, she's okay. Cool. So it seemed that she had an abscess that she'd managed to cut open, whether another cat swiped at it, whether she'd cut it on barbed wire, obviously who knows, but she'd managed to cut open the abscess that was growing on the outside of her neck, and obviously that was what was bleeding and had gone all, she's like, no, we syringed it clean, given her some antibiotics, obviously they then prescribed her some more antibiotics, and they gave her a painkiller, obviously because it would be quite sore and tender. And I was like, yeah, again, I didn't want to like rub it clean. It's like a neck, it's a tender area as it is, let alone adding a cut to it. I mean, like, that healing was bad enough, that doing was bad enough. So it was like, okay, no worries. So she was like, I'll go and sort out your prescription and then you can go off pet. I was like, okay, cool. And obviously, like, I've looked over my phone, like, do you remember any of what the fuck she's just said? Cool. Do you think I can ask them to call the owners and give them a rundown on what the hell she's just said? Nice. this point, I'm like, I am not going to be able to recite any of that back. Any of it. Like, she's there like, yeah, I've given her this drug, and I, you know, because obviously she's got these issues, I couldn't give her this drug, so, you know, I would have liked to have given her this drug, but obviously because it would interact relatively badly with what she's got, we can't, so she's just gonna have to make do. And you're like, I'm not a vet. I'm not up on any of this. Just tell me she's gonna be okay and I can take her home. So obviously then she comes back out, she has the tablets, and she's like, yeah, I think was it 1 daily, or was it like half one, twice daily? Either way, obviously she needed a tablet or whatever. And she was like, they've got penicillin, so if anybody like is allergic to the penicillin, wear gloves, or obviously get somebody else to do it. So okay. And obviously at that point she's like, yeah, no worries, you're all good to go. Obviously she's like, well, you're all good to like pay. Somebody will be up to the front desk to do process all of that. I'm like, okay, great, cool. I'm like, I'm not fucking paying. It's £150 for the initial consult, and then everything else on top. I'm not. I think at that point I had £3 in my bank account. I'm like, I give you £3, but it's not really gonna cover it. So obviously then the lady initially finally got to the counter, the reception desk, obviously saw her, and she's saying the cat. I'm like, yep. I'm like, would you be able to call the owners and ask them for payment? And she's looked at me and she's like, I'm like, yeah, I know the owner. And she's like, oh, that's not a problem, don't worry. And I'm like, and she's like, so I'm like, yeah, it's not, I'm just pet sitting. I'm like, I just come in of a morning and an afternoon, and I give her food and her medication, and that's me done. And they're like, oh, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I've walked in, I'm like, it's a mess. Okay, it's not a war zone. Could have been a lot worse. I was like, I've walked in, I've come in, I'm like, the cat's fucking gone and got itself almost murdered of an evening, a night time. Oh, so, you know, we had a nice little chat. We all chatted about cats for a little while. The fact that obviously, like, she's got to have the renal food because she's got the kidney issues and all of this jazz. And yeah, it was good. And obviously they let me leave because they was like, well, we've, you know, took all the owner's information and whatnot. I gave them all the numbers and everything. It's like, yeah, this. I was like, no, if it's possible to also give them like a rundown as to, and they're like, yeah, we'll give them a rundown of everything. I was like, excellent, lovely. That's great, because like I can remember half of what the vets just told me. It's just like, oh, we wouldn't expect you to. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, great, cool, lovely. Whoa. So obviously we were free to go, so that was it. We was let out, took the cat home, and it was like, yeah, right, we're on our way back. She's all good. She's got tablets to start taking as of tomorrow, whatnot. And they were like, okay, do you think we still need to? And I'm like, no, I think she'll be fine now. Obviously, like, everything's cleared up. It looks a lot better. Whatnot. I was like, they just said like they prefer her not to be outside, and they're like, yeah, if you lock the cat flap on the gate so that she can still have the garden, because she's not got like a litter box in the office, because she's a free roaming cat. She knows not to do it in the house or in the office, but obviously does it in the garden. And it was like, yeah, so it was, once we got back, I locked the little cat flap on the gate, but obviously she was still allowed in and out of the office because, again, she's 17 years old, she can't make it over the fence or anything, so it's not like you got to worry about that. So thank you to my friends. Like, I'll probably see you again at 12 at the pub, like we planned on, you know, all good. I mean, we probably got back at like 20 to 11, so 10:40. At this point, I've been away from the pet sitters for a long enough amount of time, and I've still got to go and check on a chicken, feed fish, and water the plants. I'm on the bike, and I do not cycle fast. You know, nobody tells you that riding a bike and as an adult does not work out the same way as it does as a kid. So obviously I've still got to then set the cat back up, so I've put the cat back in the office. They're like, she's highly dehydrated, so obviously I've topped up her water. She's drunk a whole load of that, and I'm like, great, obviously she's sorting out her dehydration quite clearly. And I'm guessing because obviously at this point she's on the pain medication, she's feeling a bit better, and is obviously more happy to move and drink and do everything with her throat. So obviously I fill up 2 water bowls, because I'm like, I want to make sure that obviously if she is really, really dehydrated, that she doesn't like obviously drink a whole bowl of water and then is out of water. So it's like filled up 2 water bowls, left her with 2 water bowls, so left her with the rest of her brekkie, and a couple little treats in a different bowl. Put down like the little puppy pad thing that they had in her cat carrier. Obviously the vet put it in, obviously just to make sure that she had something, because there was a towel, but obviously it fucks straight off when you put a cat in there. So yeah, so I put that out because I thought, well, do I put it like on her bed? Because obviously again I wanted it to stay clean, and it's like, but I obviously like being an older cat, her fur is all over everything, and like if she does want to cuddle up and just like snooze like the rest of the day, because obviously she's had a painkiller and she's probably feeling a bit rough and whatnot, it's like, but I don't want her to get it all dirty and mucky with all her old fur just like lying. And the owner was like, no, I'll just put it on the floor, and I do this and I do that. So like I said to the owners, I was like, look, she's home, she's settled in, she's chill. I was like, do you want me to come back and check on her later? I was like, because I know you guys aren't going to be home until later on. Obviously, they're going to be home in time to do like her evening food. But they were like, obviously, the vet's like, if you can get her up to like 4 pouches of food a day, she's 3.5 kilos, like 17 years old, but still has a great appetite. They're like, so if you can get her up on the food, please do. I'm like, so like, do you want me to come back and like just check on her, make sure she's all right, she's not escaped anywhere, and like, if you can, that'd be great. I'm like, yeah, no worries. So obviously I leave her as it is. I'm like, cool. At this point it's probably 11. I'm like, now I've got to bugger off, do the chicken. She's like half an hour away, get back, which is like now 40 odd minutes away by the time I'm at the chicken. It's further to get to the pet sitters. So that's 40 minutes. Somehow I managed to get to the chicken, do the chicken, feed the fish, water the plants, get back to the pet sitters, all being like 5 minutes late to be at the pub, to which thankfully the friends still hadn't got there, parked on the drive of the pet sitters. So it was like, obviously we then wandered over to the pub, spent like a couple hours at the pub chilling, having a chat, and obviously she had to go off and do dog walks. Obviously I had to go off and check on the cat again. So left the pet sitters, went back, checked on the cat, and obviously this is where the picture of her just sat on my legs is. So obviously at this point she just kind of wanted a bit of company. I'd given her a single pouch, because I thought obviously they'll be home at some point to do her actual food, so I don't want her to eat too much, but it's like, I just want to make sure she's got something. And I just thought, well, I'll sit there and just give her a bit of company for a little while, so that she's not all on her lonesome after such like an traumatic little event. And that's where I got like the picture of her just sat on my lap while I'm sat on the floor of the office. And obviously that kind of ended the Sunday in, obviously they got back later on and obviously checked on her and everything and saw how her neck was, because unfortunately by the time I got her back from the vet, and it's like I sat on the decking out the front and I was trying to get her to lift him, but she wouldn't stay still long enough. Obviously she was feeling a lot better and wasn't just standing still, so it's like I couldn't get a picture of how her neck looked after the vet had cleaned it and done everything that she needed to, because it's like I wanted to be able to get a picture to be like, this is how it looks, like don't freak out when you get home, like it's all good. But no, yeah, that was like my eventful Sunday, because the cat decided she wanted, I don't know if she'd gotten herself in a fight, if she'd got herself in a fight with a fence or what, but yeah, that's the story time of the cat. That was a very, I wouldn't say like stressful, it's just like a worrying, like anxiety riddled sort of Sunday. But she's all better. Her neck looks incredible now. The hair is starting to grow back, and you wouldn't even know she'd done it. But that's the story time of the cat trying to behead herself or something. But Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching this video. I know it's been an awfully long one, but sometimes storytime videos are, and there was a lot of information packed into that. But that's the fun of pet sitting sometimes, you know, you got somehow get a cat to a vet when you don't even drive. And I'm like, if push come to shove, I would have put her on the bike and I would have made the half an hour cycle in fucking 3 hours, but I would have somehow got her there. Probably would have called a taxi, really. Would have been easier. Like, fuck the cycle, really. I'm not quick. But yeah, anyway, thank you ever so much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed. Obviously, if you've made it this far, thank you ever so much, and I will see you in another one. Bye.